Hey everyone, I'm super blessed to be here and thankful to speak to you all. I was here last year and I spoke to all of you guys and I loved it. I love talking to all of you guys. For some of you who don't know who I am, I'm a junior. I play basketball and volleyball. But the one thing you should really know about me is that I love sports. I'm in love with playing sports. It's my favorite thing to do. Ever since I was a little kid, my favorite thing was anything that was involved with a ball, a net, a court, a field, I would be there. It's my favorite thing ever. And FCA helped me realize that with sports being one of my most important things, I could involve that with Jesus being one of my most important things in my life. My relationship with sports and my relationship with Christ was not separate. It was meant to be together. I first heard about FCA in 7th grade from one of my friends. And she told me about it. She told me about this orange bowl breakfast in the morning, and I realized it was only for high schoolers, so I was kind of sad about that because I wanted to be involved, but I was only in 7th grade. I was only in middle school. And thankfully, my history teacher, Miss Forbes, encouraged me to create FCA in middle school, encouraged me to create my own huddle, and I started that in 7th grade, and then I realized what kind of leader was I going to be. I'm only a 7th grade girl. Why would people join this club that I'm starting? And that's when I realized that I had this whole perspective wrong of who a leader was, what a leader was. I thought a leader was someone who had thousands of followers. I thought a leader was someone who had a title in front of their name, president of, or CEO of. But then I realized that I knew the most important leader in the whole world. I had a personal relationship with him. He only had 12 followers, and his name was Jesus Christ. When I knew that, and my whole perspective changed on who a leader was, I kept with FCA from 7th grade until now, and I can honestly say that this past year and last year, this current year, these past 2 years, all of high school has been so amazing. I've truly realized what it means to be a Christian athlete. And who I have to thank for that are my coaches, Julie and Scott Doan. Thank you for encouraging me, and thank you for encouraging our team, for incorporating the fact of being a Christian and an athlete and putting them together and how important it is. Because when I knew about Christ, I had a relationship with him and everything, but I didn't really incorporate my relationship with sports and my relationship with God. If someone asked me, what's a word that you would use to identify yourself with? Like, if you had to use one word to describe yourself, what would that word be? And I'm sure all of you would say, oh, I'm an athlete. I would say that too. I used to say that. But I realized that my identity was not found in sports. It was found in Christ alone. And through FCA, I also gained godly friendships. Godly friendships are deeper than just texting every day and hanging out on the weekends. They're friendships that you grow in your faith, you grow in your love for Jesus, and you grow in your sport. I realized that my best friend had the same passion that I did, sports and Jesus. FCA changed the way I played the game. I was a player who was all about myself. I was all about how can I be better? How can everyone know that I'm the best person on the team? But then I realized that that's not the right way to look at it, because you're playing for someone bigger and someone more important than you are. A Christian athlete isn't someone who plays before every game and asks God to let them win, because God doesn't give an edge to those who pray over those who don't. Hard work does that. A Christian athlete is someone who thanks God for the opportunity to play. Thanks God that they were given the talents and the abilities to play their sport. Before FCA, I was a Christian who played sports. I wasn't a Christian athlete. I never put the two most important relationships in my life together. And honestly, my life isn't perfect. I'm not the best athlete out there. I'm not the best Christian out there. Because I can tell you that being a Christian athlete is very hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tell you all that, yeah, it's super easy to stand up for your faith. It's not. It's one of the hardest things to do. But we're all athletes. We're the toughest people you know. So why would you want it to be easy? It's not going to be easy. We have to love the challenge and accept the challenge of standing up for your faith. It's hard to stand up for your faith, but it's so worth it. It is worth expanding the kingdom of Christ through your teammates and in your arena of competition. Some of you right now might be the only Christian on your school team, and that's super hard. But that's where FCA comes into play. That's where FCA helps you, and it shows you that there's other people around who love Jesus and love their sport and want to show people that playing their sport, they can also show how much they love God. That's why it's called Fellowship of Christian Athletes. There's more than one of us. God intended us not to walk in our faith alone, but to walk together. But I get it, it's hard to be different. It's super easy to blend to the crowd and do what everyone else is doing. But who do you remember? The ordinary people or the extraordinary people? Who do you remember, the crowd or the leader? That's why every day I wear this necklace with my favorite verse on it. It's Romans 1:16. And my favorite part about this verse is the beginning of it. It says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel." And it reminds me why I'm different and why I choose to stand out. It reminds me that I'm choosing to stand up for my faith because I'm not ashamed of the one who gave me my talents and abilities. When I'm not ashamed of who gave me these talents, some things change in the way I play, some things change in my game. There's small changes as to why, I'm watching the words that I'm saying. Why would I say these bad things to my teammates? Why would I bring my teammates down? Now I know that I have to encourage them, and I'm using words that are uplifting. My language changes. The way I interact with my teammates change. But one big thing that changes in my life is that the way I treat my sport, the way I treat volleyball and basketball, I treat it as an act of worship. Everything you do is an act of worship. I imagine myself playing my sport as if God's in the audience watching me, and He's the only one there because He's the only one that matters. I started playing to please God and not anyone else. One of the best ways I believe to see God's faithfulness, His love, and His presence is through sports and through athletics. Because in the games you play, we all face adversity. We all face challenges. We go through times of success and through times of failure. And through each one of those times, you see how God provides for you. And I'm sure the majority of you here right now are probably juniors or seniors, and most of you want to go to college for your sport. And I'm sure some of you think, I'm not good enough. How could a college want me to play for them? I'm not that good. That's where being a Christian athlete comes into play. That's where you have to remind yourself that God has a plan for you. He knows what's going to happen in your life. He's going to lead you to the right place. Your future is all planned out. So I know some of you came here today not even knowing about Christ. This is your first time hearing about FCA, or maybe you're forced to come here. But I want you all to know that each of you have an amazing talent and an amazing ability to play the sport that you love. And you shouldn't take it for granted. Because so many people wish they could be doing what you're doing. They wish they could be a great athlete like all of you are. We have to just remember that we're all playing for an audience of one. So I encourage you today to stand out, to be different, to glorify God through your sport, to get involved in FCA, and to create godly friendships with those around you who allow you to be a better Christian athlete. Thank you.